Welcome back, everybody. We are back again with another episode of Cabin Chronicles, where we chat in the cabin of Bajaj leaders to take a sneak peek into their lives. I'm your host, Debulina Banerjee, and today we have with us Mr. Avez Sayed. He's our Chief Risk Officer. Leading us through uncertain times, he ensures that we stay safe in the world of insurance. Welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you, Debulina.
Thank you so much. So, before we dive into the world of risk and risk management, let us take a slight detour. A little bird told me that you were in media and showbiz before you joined, the world of insurance and the corporate world. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Interesting little bird of yours. For me, working started quite early. Immediately after writing my TY BCom exams, the very next day, I joined Godrej and Boys Projects Department in Mumbai. And while I was awaiting my MBA results, my entrance results, and I was preparing for my journey into my management course, I worked for Godrej. There, I got exposed to a lot of media houses because my initial project for Godrej was incidentally for media houses, and that built up a curiosity for me. I have taken assignments for a lot of big corporates, media corporates in Mumbai, and that what remained in my mind while I was doing my MBA, and that's where I decided to be a part of the glam world, what people say, and I started working into media events, media seminars, media sessions right from my winters in my management days. I have worked for the biggest media companies in our country, done the launch of Indian Idol, and was part of film fairs. Backstage committee was involved in launching Barista, was involved in launching the kiosk of Pizza Hut, Oral-B, and to name such few brands, including Reebok, Nike, that point of time, and was also involved in the biggest auto show that happens in Delhi on a yearly basis, and the biggest and the largest gems and jewelry show which happens in Mumbai. So as an interest, that interest got me into getting into media houses and working for immediately working after my MBA. I came to Mumbai because of some personal reasons. There I worked for again a media house, and insurance for me happened by accident. It was not by choice. It all happened to me by accident. Otherwise, I always wanted to be into media and mass communication.
Wow, I mean, that sounds so cool. Like the culture of the insurance world compared to that of a creative field must be so different. I mean, how did you perceive it? How different was it for you?
As I said, insurance came to me by accident. I ended up thinking that I'm joining a banking sector, and I joined ICICI Lombard. It was all by accident, the way the interview happened, and it was very close to the site where I was doing my advertising campaign at World Trade Center, Mumbai, and that's happened to be the largest gems and jewelry exhibition which I was covering that point of time. And I got a call from ICICI for an interview, and I was not aware about what ICICI Lombard is. I thought ICICI is calling me for a banking opportunity which they have, and I gave an interview. That point of time, I got to know that it's an insurance opportunity and I have to work into an insurance domain. I was posted in Gujarat. My initial 1 year with ICICI Lombard was in Gujarat. But interesting fact about me accidentally moving to an insurance domain was on the third day of my career at ICICI. I decided to hang up my boots and leave my job.
Wow.
That difficult I found it in the initial 2-3 days. It was culturally very different. Here you are trying to sell creativity, and here you are trying to chase down numbers, and customer orientation is very high. The product is very technical. You have to be very mindful about what you talk to the customers, and we were involved in bank assurance business there. A lot of stakeholders were involved from an ICICI bank perspective. So it was very challenging for me to have such a drastic cultural shift. But an interesting conversation happened between a mother and a child. Me and my mother spoke over a length on a call, and that's how I spent 13 years in ICICI Lombard. That's
Wow.
how insurance came to me, and now I can say I'm completely an insurer by career, and I love what I do now.
That's so interesting. I mean, from selling dreams to selling insurance, your journey has been so exciting. I
Yes.
mean, speaking of selling, you were in sales before you joined risk management, right?
Yes.
So, what made you shift from a sales role to a non-sales role?
So, selling insurance, I was very curious how it happens, where the money goes in. Are we trying to fleece out the money from the poor? What happens to such a big amount of money? How does it, manage? Where does it go? How do we earn investment income? How do we manage claims? How do we pay claims? What happens to customers who haven't got any or who haven't taken any claims? So this curiosity, attracted me a lot in the initial years of me selling insurance, and I became very hungry about taking domain knowledge around insurance, and that's where I started reading a lot, giving a lot of small certificate exams which were available there in India. And there came a point, my desire to pursue higher studies in insurance and risk management was heard by my employer at that point of time. And there was no master's degree available in India at that point of time for insurance and risk management. And that's how I got into a full-time risk management and insurance master's degree from a university in London. So I went to London on a sabbatical from ICICI. I did my risk management and insurance. And then I came back thinking that I'll be working again on a larger assignment for the company. That point of time, till that point of time, it was not sure that what will I do, whether I'll be taking care of underwriting or I'll be a part of the reinsurance value chain. And that happened to be a time when IRD opened up some regulations around risk management. They wanted insurance companies to have offices around risk management. And I got an opportunity at ICICI Lombard to be amongst the first few to set up this working framework on risk management for a general insurance company. Collaborated a lot with foreign insurers, reinsurers, worked on various models of risk management that happens to be existing that point of time, and have collaborated a lot with the regulator also from a risk management point of view. And then we got 2016, where the first risk management framework through corporate governance guidelines came in to live for all insurers, and I was a part of, not actively in the front, the working group, but I was very much involved in setting up the entire framework for risk management for our industry that point of time.
Wow. I mean, since only a handful of people know what risk management actually is, can you shed some more light on this topic?
So risk management is nothing new for humans. I think every human is born as risk manager. Whenever we do something, we anticipate what will go wrong. We always try to look back into what happened with us or somebody else in the past. We take lessons very strongly. Even if today you decide to go for a movie, right? You always go for a rating, what happened. You'll always go for a feedback. You'll always hear what your peers are saying. And many times you end up watching a film which you never liked, but you just happened to go there because you took a feedback. So risk management is also very similar in nature, where you want to anticipate what's going to come up in future based on what's happened to you in the past. If I have to summarize, risk management is a process which keeps on flowing within an organization. The most important part of risk management, it's affected by people. The people who make the processes, the people who make the systems, the people who are responsible for policies, frameworks, and guardrails. The whole objective of risk management is we achieve the goal. Right, we achieve the organizational objective in a guarded way, and at the end of the day, we are able to give a fairly reasonable assurance to the management and to the board of directors. So risk management in a nutshell creates a safety net that everything will be well, whatever happens, so we'll always be able to achieve our objectives. So it also enables us to take risk. I think a sound risk management framework makes companies bold enough to take risks because they are confident on what they are doing. And that's the reason we say, why do cars have brakes? Cars have brakes only so that we can run faster.
That's true. I mean, insurance is all about taking risks and risk mitigation.
Calculated risk, I would
Yeah,
say.
yes, exactly. So, so if anybody wants to join a risk management team, what kind of education should they pursue, or how many years of experience should they ideally have?
So risk management is a very diverse subject. You need to have expertise around finance. You need to have expertise around the IT domain, the cyber law domain per se, the business domain per se, the operational side per se. So anybody who wants to join risk management, if that person have a core compatibility or is a subject matter expert of any of these domains, rest of the domains of risk management can be learned. The basic ingredient of risk management is I for detailed, and somebody should have a very strong understanding of how the business works. Somebody should be very curious around how business goes wrong, what happens, how the controls are working. And I think, again, to summarize is, risk management, the professional should understand risk management is not about being like a traffic cop on a red light signal, who tries to stand behind the trees, so that somebody just cut the red light and he give the challan. Risk management is like, putting up the right CCTV cameras and putting up the right incentives for people to follow traffic rules, or disincentivize people who tries to break the rules and regulations. So risk management is very encouraging in nature. People should be, somebody has to bring in the skills of project management, people management, and the appetite to drive change. So the biggest element for anybody who is looking forward to make risk management as a career is somebody who can drive change. It's a change agenda which you try to sell in an organization.
Absolutely. Change is the only thing constant,
Yes,
after all.
absolutely.
So, moving on from careers and education, we heard that you like sports, and not just that, you are also a trained boxer. Please tell us more about it.
So sports comes very natural to us as a family. I come from a farmer's family, and we are encouraged more to play rather than, academics comes second to us. We still, it continues as a family. We look up forward to, have physical activities and sports a lot, and then happened to give me early opportunity to get myself trained into the sports of boxing. I think what boxing taught me earlier, is to be focused, because every punch matters. You always have a very calculated decision when you try to make a punch. Otherwise, you will get knocked out. Another area what boxing teaches me is staying calm under pressure. It's very important for a fighter who does fighting as a sports, is to remain very calm under pressure, and that's one of the skill which Muhammad Ali demonstrated. He has taken a big boxer much more mightier than him by staying calm under pressure, and that's how I think boxing now today helps me being a good risk manager.
Wow, that's so amazing. I mean, is Muhammad Ali your favorite boxer?
For me, Mike Tyson is the favorite. Everybody likes Mike Tyson for his for his passion and for his thrill what he brings to the match. But yes, Muhammad Ali is somebody whom you look up to for techniques and his sense of adaptability when it comes to fighting. He adapts very well.
Speaking of Mike Tyson, did you see the recent Mike Tyson versus?
Yes, and it's a very sad one. I
I
think
know.
it's a very sad for the entire fraternity, for everybody who loves boxing. I think, though everybody seems that it's a fixed one, but I think he should have not done this at the end of his career, because he's left a legacy around, and there would be generations who will be looking up to him as a great fighter.
That's true. That's absolutely true. So, as we come to the end, I would just like to ask you if you have any words of inspiration to impart to the young professionals.
So, to the young professional, I think empathy and agility is universal. As a youngster, these are the two ingredients for me. If I can say, I happen to be in the risk domain, or I happen to be into the insurance domain. I have been the CISO for a company. I have taken care of privacy for companies. Whenever something came to me, I think the only attitude of let's take it and then learn accordingly was very natural to me, right? And that helped me make my journey very strong, very strongly supported by peers and supervisors. So for me, the only 1 pound message I'll give to audiences: agility and empathy is universal. Please be mindful of being very much agile in whatever comes your way, and be very empathetic towards people and towards all the stakeholders.
Final question: what makes the Bajaj culture unique?
So I have not worked for many of the organizations. It's just my third job change. I think Bajaj was always a brand. When you are working into an insurance domain, Bajaj is the company which you would want to be there in your resume. That's strong the brand is. And when I came here, I think Bajaj keeps people at the heart of everything. That's very different in Bajaj. A lot of companies have various strong pillars, but Bajaj has demonstrated year on year and periodically when you work around, it's very easy to collaborate. Bajaj empowers you a lot. You are given that empowerment to take bold decision. This happens only because when you keep people at the center of heart, and our motto of caringly yours, our attitude of being customer obsessed, says us a lot. So for me, Bajaj is a people's company made by people and driven by people by heart, and that's the thing I love about Bajaj.
Wow, so nice. It was so nice talking to you, sir. I had a lovely time.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Deepalina.
watching. Stay tuned for another episode of Cabin Chronicles where careers and curiosity collide. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.